Hi, this is Derek Murphy of creativity.com, helping you become financially and independently creative. And what I'm doing right now is answering 100 questions that I get from people who email me asking about publishing. And this is the first one. What's the best software or programs for helping to draft or outline your book? People want to know, if you're writing a book, what should you use? And in the self-publishing community, a lot of people will recommend Scrivener. Scrivener is a program that's similar to Word. It's a Word document, but inside the program, there's space where you can make notes and lay out your research and organize the different sections of your book so that later you can drag and drop your sections around. It's useful. Myself, I'm not a convert. I haven't used it enough to really become passionate about it. The thing about software is you want to use whatever works and whatever is going to let you finish the book. And a lot of people will say, well, I have to buy Scrivener and then I have to learn how to use it, and then they get comfortable with it, and you can waste a couple months because you thought you needed the right software to write a book. People were writing books a long time before there were computer programs. So don't worry so much about what apps or programs you need. Use whatever you have and whatever you're familiar with. You can use a text document. You can speak your book and have it record everything and then transcribe it to notes and then edit that. Personally, I use Word almost all the time. However, recently I've switched to Google Docs because if you're using Google Docs, it's online and it's always automatically updated. So I can get onto my main computer, or I can go to one of my laptops and I'll go to my Google account, and my doc, my novel, my book will always be on whichever computer I'm using, and it will always update if I'm connected to the internet. So I don't have to worry about losing a huge file or years of work, something that I've done in the past before. So for me, for security, that's what I prefer right now. The other thing to think about is when you're mapping out your novel or your outline of your book, it's not just about being able to put down the right information. You also have to think about the story structure or the architecture. And so there are some programs where the architecture is built in. I've used Final Draft and Dramatica Pro. There's also Write a Novel Now, I think it's called. There's some different software for writing novels, which in addition to giving you some space to write the novel, it also gives you some notes and training and teaches you a little bit about what you need to have in your story, the hero's journey, the beginning, the 3 acts. There's very common architecture to fiction writing, and you need to know what that is. If you go in with a blank page and kind of do whatever you want, it'll take you 1,000 years to discover a story architecture as powerful as the one that was being used by early Greek plays. So don't try to just start from anything and assume you'll come out with a story that affects people and resonates people. There's stuff that works, and you want to be aware of those story beats and try to fit your plots, your scenes, your character information. You want to fit it in the context of this map that has been proven to work over and over again very effectively. One of the things I rely on is paranormal author Jamie Gold put out a bunch of Excel worksheets that are story planning Excel worksheets. And if you search for those, she's put up, sorry, I just realized I don't know if Jamie Gold's a he or she. I should have done more research, but there's a bunch of templates on that site where you can just fill in the notes, and having that strong structure before you start writing is going to make everything go so much faster and give you a much stronger novel once you finish. Also, I want to say that finishing your book shouldn't be your only goal. Your goal should be to write a book that sells by fulfilling reader expectations, and that's mostly about learning the craft and mapping it out ahead of time. So don't just worry about writing as much as you can. A lot of people say, I want to write 10,000 words a day or something. They'll come up with this 200,000 word novel, but then they can't edit it. They can't cut out all of the scenes that they love that don't fit in the book. They don't make any sense. They don't bring the story forward. You don't want to write so much and then have to cut everything out and be not sure where to go with it. At the same time, I'm learning as I write my own fiction, sometimes you don't know what's going to happen until you start writing, and you need to push through that first draft and get everything you can down before you really start to see what's going on and who your characters are. and then you have to go back and rewrite it. So for me, something like Scrivener that's very organized, it doesn't help me as much because I need a lot more space to be able to move things around and jump in. Okay, so that's the answer to the first question, and I'm going to make 99 more answers like this. So stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.